Recently, IGN made a review on Wuthering Waves after the 2-week run from its official launch, and despite of how IGN operates when it comes to reviewing the games and such, there is a tendency that they would cause a lot of fiasco on how they perceive and adapt to these games. And we're all aware about the recent controversy with IGN France calling out Shift Up's CEO for saying a ragdoll sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman. And with the help of community and other content creators to revert on what IGN France said and apologize, plus with quote-unquote reality check, with a video from a South Korean modeling channel also calling out IGN for being ignorant and not open to different culture and lifestyle outside of their domain. IGN France did apologize, but the game received a 7 out of 10 rating, which is fine, but it could be a lot higher if that controversy didn't happen. And now they're currently target Black Miss Hong Kong for obvious reason too. I mean, I don't see the problem here. All I see is an appeal and fan service to the player base. They also did the same on Nikkei too. Some say that it's too sexy. I mean, isn't that what majority of players like in most games? Attractive character with a great personality, well-designed outfit, and well-made body physique that resembles like a true model? I just don't get it why these journals are having a meltdown because of it. They reviewed Nier Automata and the game received high ratings. Bayonetta also received high ratings too. But Stellar Blade, in this current generation, I don't think if I have any urges to watch the review videos as time goes on. I have a gut feeling that there is some sort of internal problems, like what if there is a discrimination within the company? We don't know, because we don't have evidence to prove of it. I mean, look, if I would be that person who had a conversation with an editor-in-chief if she had a meltdown because of it, the only thing I could say is, if you don't like to review this game, then don't. I'll hand it to someone else and you'll receive a half cut of your payment. That's it. End of discussion. No second chance. Period. And I'm aware that I'm getting sidetracked because of, again, just want to keep the conversation before we can move on to the main discussion of today's video. So I watched the review entirely and it was somehow unfavorable to the audience who plays Wuthering Waves, but for me personally, I'm not being biased, it does have good points in it, but this time, instead of reacting to the video and give my opinions about it, I'm gonna make a review myself about Wuthering Waves' overall experience as a mobile gamer after 300 hours of session. Now, just for full verification here, I'm gonna show the real gameplay from my phone using my camera so that you could see on how I played the game on mobile. Or maybe I could just include my previous live streams where I play Wuthering Waves as a full verification too as well. Now let's start off with the story content and the voice acting. Now, if some of you guys have watched my previous stream before, at the beginning of the game, the audio and the video in-game is a bit off. There was a delay. And it has nothing to do with my computer that I'm using for streaming, it's just the game itself on my phone. And I know that some of you might ask what phone you're currently using. So currently I have two phones, which is Samsung Galaxy S6, that's where I edit all of my videos, and I have Poco C65, where I play Wuthering Waves on the lowest setting at 24 frames per second, in which I would say it's a pain to the ass, given the fact that it's within the minimum spec requirements for Android. But I'll talk about the performance later in this video. The story so far was mediocre, but I do also agree from the majority that the story of the first half was a bit disappointed. However, as you progress through the second half story, you met Scar, Falova, Alto, Encore, and Camellia. That's the part where the story starts to pick up. It got more interesting. The cutscenes by far, it was smooth. The characters are expressive and able to move while in the middle of the conversation. There are good moments too, but there are also some cases while in the middle of the cutscene, the video freezes for a few seconds but the audio kept playing despite of it. I'm not into story stuff, so I had to skip, not because I hate it, it's because I wanted to get into action. That's pretty much it. Having a skip button every time when there's a dialogue or a cutscene, it's optional. And there is nothing tempting about it. It all comes down to your preferences on how to play the game in your own way. If you don't like the story, then just skip it. That's simple. It's not that tempting. It's just natural instinct when it comes to this. As for voice acting, I don't like the English dub personally. But there are characters who had good voice acting like Gion, Scar, and Camellia. And I don't mind actually. But the thing is, as to why I hate it and the majority also hate it too, it's because of lack of voice direction. The context on how the voice actors convey on what happened in varied scenes. Like for example, on Act 6, if you pick female rover and you chase the dreamless as it tried to escape, you open your palm to suck the energy out of it, then you hear this. Well, there are other languages if you don't enjoy English dub overall. You can just change the voice language in-game from English to Japanese, Chinese, or Korean. And I'd also like to bring up this topic since version 1.1 is now nearing. I'm hoping they're not gonna mess up when it comes to story and voice acting. They need to be better next time, and hoping that they won't make that same mistake ever again. Overall, I'll give the rating 7 out of 10. Next one is the gameplay. Overall, it was fun, and not gonna lie, it was way faster than Genshin. But at the same time, this is where you start to learn and improve your skills when it comes to the combat aspect of it. This is where you'll learn to parry the attacks from the enemies or bosses, or do the perfect dodge, and it was smooth. But there are some cases that it's a bit clunky to do so since I play on mobile. Some attacks or parries didn't register on the game's netcode, so you could say I have a skill issue, in which I admit it's my fault as to why I have that, but sometimes it has something to do with the game itself. Now, every character has their own forte, which is basically a signature attack once you fill up the bar at the top of your health bar. Great example is Colcharo, an electro broadsword DPS on normal mode. Using his skill will accumulate its forte 3 times. And once the forte is full, just hold the attack button and there it triggers its signature attack. And one thing I like about this game is that when you do those techniques, you're able to swap other characters while the character is still in forte animation or echo transformation in the field. You can use the echo skill of a monkey with a tree log, then swap the character to gain more damage while the monkey slams the log to the enemies until it vanished. These techniques and animation cancelling is also the reason why I enjoy playing, even at mobile. In Wuthering Waves, you have team consists of 3 characters, which is different from Genshin's 4 characters in the team comp. And to be fair, this is way easier than having 4 characters because you can rotate between characters in the field without holding you back, plus with the help of intro and outro skill, which is a big change to the game that provides buff to your next swapped characters. And with short cooldown, you can swap in an instant and do crazy stuff just like what I mentioned earlier about animation cancelling, forte swap, and so on. With the current number of characters that we got so far, the choice are limitless, so you can have a bit of experimentation on what teams you build, so go crazy guys. Overall gameplay, I'll give the rating of 9 out of 10. Next up is the exploration. It's the same experience like on Genshin, the only difference is that the traversal and Wuthering Waves are way better than Genshin. Quality of life changes, like you can run on walls or terrains that consume stamina. You can infinitely run on the field without any stamina usage. You can grab the ledge of any structure or terrain to do parkour stuff. You can use the grappling hook at the early stage of the game, which makes the exploration easier and enjoyable. You can do double jumps and even triple jumps to reach high places. The movements were smooth as if you're doing parkour, anywhere, everywhere. You can even use transformable echoes like Arrow Bird, Inferno Rider, and much more to go further on your exploration progress. And if you want to clear each region exploration progress to 100%, just open the map, click the compass icon, and it will show you the amount of progress you have in-game. That includes the viewpoints, blob of flies, chest, and also the Sonance radar or something like that, I don't know. And if you keep doing this, you'll receive more rewards and utilities that will benefit on your exploration progress, making it even more easier to traverse. Wuthering Waves has everything we ask in Genshin for more than 3 years, and now that Wuthering Waves is finally competing in the global market, Genshin started to work its ass out because of it. Overall rating on exploration, 9 out of 10. Next one is an ecosystem and resource management. That was introduced in the early betas of the game. In my opinion, I find it easier to grind on echoes to collect just to get either the purple or the gold one, but at the same time it was repetitive despite of how amazing the combat was. Except that level 120 echo who had a red aura around it. You could say that the grinding aspect in this one for ecosystem and the resource management can act as a double-edged sword. The only problem is the resources needed to upgrade your echoes and to tune your echoes for better substat. Not only you can grind echoes on Overworld, but you can also grind the echoes on Tacit Fields at a cost of 60 stamina. And to be honest, it wasn't enough. I do heard about a recent drama in comparing 43111 and 44111 when it comes to equipping echoes on your character. Either of those two is a win-win situation, but if personally I just go all out on 333 instead of that one. Overall, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It needs improvement, and also need more added resources for the, echoes, stuff and upgrade. Next is the gacha system. And overall, it's way generous than Genshin's gacha system. So the gacha system that this game has, you could say that has the semblance of Punishing Grey Raven's gacha system, where in character banners you will get the guaranteed at 80 pulls and it has 50-50. However, in the weapon banner, it's a guaranteed pull. Even if it's a standard one or a limited one, you will never lose to 50-50. And the special currency you got after your summon session, you can exchange those. Either you get another pulse if you're desperate or to build pity, or maybe you can get a duplicate of a character in that special shop, both 5 stars and 4-star characters, but with the following compensations day after day, plus with pre-registration rewards, login events, level bundle rewards and such, plus with the compensation from mistranslations and also optimization issues varied on devices. You could do a reroll if you like. For me though, I already made a second account on Asia server and doing my best to not spend any single asteroids or these special currency to the summon session because I'm saving it for Camellia. And let's be honest, we're all simping for Camellia after that seed session. Overall, I'll give the rating 10 out of 10. As for other topics like music, there are cases in which the music just stopped playing on the background. Some are memorable and some are not. And I'd like to bring up this one gameplay during CBD2 in which you use Gion and fight the Heron. The music is way better than the current ones. Take a look.
Fight back. Tell truth from the side. Stop.
As for sound effects, no issues. It was satisfying to hear the parry sounds and such. Overall, I'll give the rating 6 out of 10 as of this current update and hoping they improve on music and other aspects too. Next is the co-op experience. The only problem is that I've never done co-op before, so I'll set it aside for now until I got full experience in co-op session with my friends. Next is character design. And guys, believe me, you gotta appreciate the art design and character design of each characters too. Kuro Games knew how to model these characters of both men and women, just like what they did on Punishing Grey Raven. After the release of Yinlin, the number of sales skyrocketed, and it has so far no issues in terms of gameplay and so on. And come on, we all had the same thing whenever Yinlin's ult is ready, right? And have nothing to add here, they did well on character modeling for the male characters too. Overall, 10 out of 10. And now we're getting to the last topic in this video. Issues, mistranslations, performance optimizations, and community concerns. Now, as a mobile gamer and a small content creator here in the Philippines, not everyone can have that kind of luxury to have that kind of device that other regions have. Given by the continuous inflation of the economy, the difficulties of getting a job even after graduate, and pressure from our parents, you could say that we were a bit desperate, so to speak, but in reality, that's just how our life works here in the Philippines, or maybe the entirety of Southeast Asian nations. Just be content with what we have, be practical, and even we have the money that earned through our hard work regardless of what job or sidelines you do, we always set the money on necessities first than the wants. And I know that I'm getting sidetracked again. I just thought of added that one here as a way that you know, we can relate to that. That happens to us and yada yada, so yeah. Now, even if Wuthering Waves did exceed expectations and got a milestone success after reaching more than $30 million in total, and estimated revenue around $114 million in the game's appearances on Apple WWDC event, it still has a lot of work that needed to be done, specifically on mobile. Majority of the player base are mobile gamers, so if they didn't get this issue done, they're not gonna play the game, temporarily or permanently. We all know that Unreal Engine 4 is so beefy that only in mid-range and high-range computers can handle it. But on mobile, you could have just done a beta test for mobile devices too, even if your device is on minimum specs. The only gameplay on mobile I've seen so far, regardless of what platform I've used, have their devices ranging around Dimensity 8200 and above, or Snapdragon 7 or above, or maybe latest models of iPhone, and those devices are so expensive. Myself and others can't afford to have that. Unless you're rich, that's a different story, and I'm not gonna go back to the comment a few weeks ago where this user is flexing that he has better device than others, yada yada. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? No one cares. Don't compare us to yours, respectfully. It's also the reason as to why our sense of enjoyment has hindered because of these issues. Devices heating up even at lowest setting, stutters and lag spikes when you're on a boss fight or in a combat. The rendering is also an issue, and I did my best to hold off my annoyances of these issues, but it's too much. The mistranslation, you gotta work out with the localizations. You don't want to repeat that same mistake after what happened on GS Weapon Banner Courier games. Yet, even the issue is fixed, but please work with the localization and be better. You must do better than this, Courier games. You're now on a stepping stone to be recognized on the global market. Never miss the opportunity. So again, please, Courier games, do better. And as for the community, I know that some of you may not be able to experience the game overall, and I apologize to that. But with your amount of support, amount of constructive criticism, the amount of feedback and transparency, we can make the game even better and the community better as well. This is important. Anyways, that will be the end of today's video, and I hope that you find this video informative, at the same time very valuable, since this is the first time I made an official review about Wuthering Waves, the overall experience of it since I played it on mobile. So yeah, if you have any corrections or anything that you'd like to add in regards to this review or any statement I made, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and I'd love to have a discussion with you. And also, if you find this video piques your interest, I'm currently on a campaign to reach 5,000 subscribers, so feel free to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future uploads or live streams. If not, then that's okay. I'm not gonna force you in that one. And I also have my own Discord server, so feel free to join or not. Again, it's up to you to decide whether you like it or not. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys in the next video. Take care and stay safe. Goodbye.